Palestinians living in the occupied West Bank have got used to Israelis' almost daily military raids that usually turn into deadly clashes between Palestinians and Israelis. Thursday was no different. Israeli forces entered the refugee camp in Jenin in an operation to carry out arrests, and an exchange of fire followed. During the raid, Israeli forces killed several Palestinians, including a 60-year-old woman, Majid Obeid. Eyewitnesses said Israeli security forces surrounded the building where the wanted Palestinians were holed up.
There were young men who hid, fled into the house, and were bombed with weapons and missiles. Windows, doors, walls, and even the refrigerator were damaged by the Israeli forces' bullets.
The Israeli army say they were targeting Islamic Jihad members in the operation, who they say were allegedly planning to carry out multiple attacks, and there were no casualties from the Israeli side. 2022 was the deadliest year for Palestinians since 2006, and Israeli forces killed more than 200 Palestinians, most of whom were from the occupied West Bank. Last year's raids were ordered by Israel's previous government, but it's not clear whether this military incursion and the high number of casualties in Jenin are the result of the new Netanyahu government's far-right policies. A senior Israeli officer told the media this raid was to do with the threat level against the troops and was not because of a policy change. Nevertheless, some to the far right were ready to praise the raid.
I want to congratulate the anti-terrorism forces, the Israeli army, the Shin Bet, who last night fulfilled a successful operation. And we support our combat soldiers in the war against the terrorists, against the militants. Every policeman, every combat soldier, every soldier should know that they have full support from Israel's government.
While Israel's far-right government backed the raid, Palestinians living in the occupied West Bank showed their frustration during the funeral ceremony and warned about a possible escalation.
The massacre that the Israeli occupation army committed this morning in Jenin city confirms the racist, fascist, and criminal right-wing occupation of the Israeli government. The resistance will always be ready to defend its people everywhere. This is an ongoing and escalating revolution until the occupation is kicked out of the entire Palestinian land.
So far, Israeli forces have killed at least 30 Palestinians in less than a month. And as there's still little sign of quiet in the occupied West Bank, leaving a possible escalation increasingly likely. Mustafa Fatih Yavuz, World, Occupied East Jerusalem.